Welcome to Vikings and Valkyries, an actual play podcast where time is fleeting and madness has taken its toll. Joining us to do the time warp again are Bill, Steve, CJ, Anina, and Terry. Welcome to you, Battle Cabbages.
Hello again.
We have two sacrifices today.
And again.
I enjoyed slaughter
Coleslaw, more
geese.
Slaughter geese.
Yeah, I liked that last time. I wrote it down. It was post-it worthy.
Wow.
We like a nice kenning on this show, and we also like accolades because our listener has described you all as possibly the most hapless adventuring party ever encountered. Have you got anything to say in your defense?
Oh, team.
You're welcome.
It's a character choice. It's always a character choice. I never fail.
Very good. So yesterday, as we're recording, was Groundhog Day, or as we say in Old Norse, Murmelsdurdaga. Now, groundhogs are, as we know, grazing members of the rodent family. And I wanted to juxtapose them. And, you're talking about your ura, you're talking about your choices. Wolverines are actually members of the weasel family.
Yes.
And they're called devil bear, skunk bear, glutton, or nasty cat. How do you, as an actor, channel a Wolverine?
It's an innate skill I have of barely contained rage. So I tap into myself.
Good. That's nice to know. So you've all been warned. And then, Terry, one of the things we talked about at the end of last week's episode was the fact that you approach these episodes, these recordings with great gusto, and you accompany yourself with a flagon of ale. And I did see there you were like eating from a haunch of ham or a wing of chicken. What was it that you were going for there to create that authentic Viking approach to this podcast?
Well, last week it was beer and rum. Today, I've just finished off a sardine sandwich, and now I've got a lovely cup of ginger and lemon tea.
Oh, so today you're on the tea.
I ran out of beer.
Right, that's good because you might remember the episode then by the end of the recording.
I might do, yeah.
Super. All right, quiz time. As you know, we award inspiration points, and not that you spend them on anything, but we do award them on occasion. And so in honor of our animal friends, I'm going to pose a question to you in two parts this evening. The first part is this. Can you name me 5 animals associated with Odin, and not just the animal type, but the actual name of the creature in question?
Well, there's Hugin, Moonin,
And Moonin.
there's Sleipnir, there's Gary and Frecky.
All right, Terry, just spoil it.
And Ratatoskr, the squirrel.
Larry,
Oh, were we
Curly,
done?
and Mo.
Larry, Curly, and Mo are the names of the characters on this podcast. So Terry went through that like a hot Dane axe through butter. Yes, you can have Hugin and Moonin. That means thought and memory. You've got Gary and Fricky, the wolves. Each of their names means either greedy or ravenous. And then Sleipnir, Odin's 8-legged horse, said to be the best horse amongst gods and men.
And Loki is his mother.
Yes, Loki has a shape-changing ability that gives him a transgender approach to myth. Gender fluid, equine fluid. All right, and now for the second part of the question. Can you name the 3 main types of temporal paradox?
Uh-oh.
I just finished your books too. I should know this. Hold on, let me go get it.
I think I did this yesterday. No, tomorrow. Wait.
Steve, are you not an author? That's very funny. Are you not an author of sci-fi books? Have you not got a temporal paradox on the tip of your tongue?
I will have already done last week tomorrow, yes.
Can I take a stab at this and get us all in trouble?
Go for it. I feel like I should know it.
Well, hang on. May I ask a clarifying question first?
Mm-hmm.
Is this based on ones that you created for your Viking verse, or are these general scientific, philosophical, like the grandfather paradox, as an example, would be one physicists use versus
Doctor
which
Who.
is as opposed to the Allfather paradox, which is from your book. So I'm just clarifying, which ones are you going for?
I am going for the ones that the physicists would use, but
Okay.
thank
So
you
we got
for
one.
weaving the web between them, because the All-Father paradox is a pun on the grandfather paradox, which is the one where if you go back in time, you kill your grandfather before your mother and father were born, it would result in a paradox because you could never have existed to go back in time and commit the act in the first place. So those are the ones that I'm looking for. You've got one. Have you got two more?
There's the twins paradox, because as you approach the speed of light, time slows down. And so if you went, I think it was 15 years, at a significant fraction of the speed of light, when you come back, whereas you'd only been gone for sort of 15 years, your twin would have had a far longer time span, would be an old man by the time you get back.
I will give it to you because you dug deep there and threw in some time travel.
And it's relativity, so it's Einstein.
Is the I don't know if it's technically a paradox, but there was that story where someone goes back to hunt dinosaurs and treads on a butterfly, and then when they come back to their own time, everything has changed.
That would be a version, I think, of the grandfather paradox.
Well, nobody's got a butterfly for a grandfather, so I really think it might qualify as a separate thing.
Well, I was thinking of the parallel timelines, except I don't know if that's a paradox as such, but infinite branching timelines. So if you move through time, you might wind up in a different version of your own timeline. But it's not really a paradox.
That's one of the explanations for the multiverse, but nudging in the right direction.
There's the letter paradox, I believe. So it's where you can write a letter to somebody in the future who will have time travel and tell them to meet you at a certain place in time. Stephen Hawking did this.
He did. No one showed up at his party.
And nobody showed up.
Yeah.
And if time travel were possible, somebody would eventually come back and visit.
So that's, I think, a good example of the bootstrap paradox, centered around the existence of objects or information that are passed from the future to the past. And so they became the same item in the future that was sent back. So if you received a book in the past from your future self, then preserved it, and then later sent that same book to your past self, that's the bootstrap paradox. So just one more.
Well, we technically get a pass because Terry, you said, gets a point.
I'll just say that.
Okay. Fair enough. I will. The last one I was looking for was in terms of the classic time travel paradox, is the predestination paradox, whereby you're part of a loop of events which something you do in the past ultimately causes you to travel back in time in the first place. So, for example, if you travel back in time to stop an event from happening, but in doing so, you actually cause the event to happen.
Yes.
Those are the ones that are in Star Trek all the time.
That's the one that happened to me last week.
Yeah. What catastrophe were you trying to avert, Bill?
Well, I had spilled some water all over the kitchen, and I tried to go back to fix that, but I had not tracked where I'd left the Brita jug. So when I reappeared in the past, I knocked it flying, thus causing all the water to spill. And then the water hit the equipment, it shorted out, and I was stuck in that loop for a while, which was very familiar after last week's podcast.
With the powers that you have, could you not use them for better effect, Bill?
Well, I thought and I think it was wise. I thought I'd start with something a little smaller, a little more manageable.
Practice.
It didn't go that well, so I'm not ready to go back and deal with the last election result just yet.
Don't try and save the world just yet. You perfect your Brita water filter.
Yeah, as soon as I'm not spilling water, then I'll move up to food, I think. See if I can keep stains off my shirt or something like that.
Super. Well, let's rejoin the adventure. We left you at the outskirts of Helpmakar in the freezing cold, with the realization that you had perhaps experienced your own temporal paradox. You were back exactly where you found yourself before you went to the Firefox Institute.
So we're aware of what happened, right?
You are okay. Conscious of the past few hours, and you just snapped back into reality, opened your eyes, and looking at the electric halo that sparkles above Helpmakar.
Let's do something different.
Yeah, let's not do that.
Gigi's going to step forward, start walking towards the village, and say, "Since your decisions led to our death, I'm going to go take that bath I said I would need it immediately."
No one
I'm
is
not going to disagree
complaining.
with that. If you really, really
no
do
one
smell.
complains. Good idea.
Yeah.
Leomi
Yeah, you
says, I'm going to consult. I'm going to meditate. I wish to go to the Temple of the Bear and also consult with my brother, Oldinger, who runs the temple. And also before I do that, and if Alma will just tell Air that this is for his own good, I wish to cast Cure Wounds on the poor, demented, damaged creature who, although I loathe him, I can't help feel sorry for him in his diamond-encrusted, damaged state.
You know I can hear you, right?
Tell Air that I know he can hear me, but also that I am not speaking. I begin casting Cure Wounds.
So what he said,
Uh-huh.
yeah, that we should talk to some other people in town.
Yeah, we
They
should.
might know.
Yeah. Anyone with a clue, really. Yeah.
Sorry, Steve, you gain a trauma back.
I don't know if you wanted to find a couch, though, Bill, and sit him down. And...
No. So he's graffitiing on me is what he's doing, is it? Okay.
In a helpful, healing
for
way.
his own good.
How long have you been able to do this?
Alma, tell Air it doesn't matter. I'm off to speak to the other Álfar, who I enjoy talking to, who's someone that worth my time.
Thank you anyways, you stupid tree.
Can you do that more than once? You know, the
That's a great question, isn't
room
it?
thing?
Maybe he could do it repeatedly for all of us.
Yeah, I mean,
So above the table, Ian, I don't know. Can I do that one? What? I asked Terry, but he wasn't answering.
I'm
quickly.
not even going to put that in the outtakes, Will. I'm going to keep that in the main edit. Can I cast spells more than once? He said.
Yeah, it's a toughie.
Tells you on the character sheet.
I need to take my. Well, not in so many words because I wrote mine up myself.
Ah.
Clearly.
It should tell you on the character sheet had you filled it in properly. But no, you have a number of castings per level related to your power.
Uh-huh.
So, for example, I suspect that, without the rulebook immediately in front of me, you have 3 castings of level 1 spells at your level of power. So you could chase after Steve and daub him with runes 3 times in quick succession and alleviate his mental burden.
And he is quite the worst for trauma. Is this correct, Steve?
Yeah,
You're
he's flirting with disaster.
I will do that
Definitely.
while yelling back to Alma. Tell him it's for his own good. As I do it, as Yomi does this 2 more times. Great question, Alma.
It's for your own good.
I've been
Thank
told that
you.
before.
Why does he want...
It does sound like you kind of want to split the party here, which I'm fine with.
Gigi's already gone. Is anybody following Gigi?
Should we run after him? I mean,
We know where he'll be.
Oh.
He'll be in a bathtub.
Plus,
Like a
he's
hero.
very loud. We can find him easily.
You hear him in the background. I require hot water, fragrant oils, and a scrubbing maiden with strong wrists. It's a matter of dignity.
Air will go to the law speaker.
Okay. Amina, Terry, where did you want to go? I'm loath to suggest that you follow CJ to his bath because that might be an HR violation.
Alma's gonna sort of run around in a circle, not knowing which way to go. And then she's gonna run after Iomi, going, we'll need to go get the others before we go and fight them again.
Cling tight to the banner, my dear.
What's that now? Okay,
Visna, try and keep up. Cling tight.
I don't know what that means. Does that spell of yours work on gunshots?
Oh, I have something for that.
Ooh.
Just 1 second while I search my memory.
Medicine bag.
That medicine bag. I search my medicine bag. Ian is literally gripping his head. I don't know if everyone else is seeing that.
What I was also thinking was, it's probably my duty to go to HQ and go and see Bangsy and discuss the situation.
Oh, that's a good idea.
So discuss the situation with him. We have now some foreknowledge of events, and I think he might be the best person to go and discuss this with.
All right, so let's do this. Let's do a series of vignettes. I'm going to say that Air heads to the law speaker, that Anina and Bill, the two of you, go to the Temple of the Bear and peruse that. CJ will come back to you in a moment or two for bath time, and Terry will come to you shortly so that you can go and speak to Bangsy Ivaldison.
Shall we say meet back here in 4 hours?
Meet in my hotel room. Which he has. This has been established.
Yes, you do have a rather luxurious hotel room at the Rowderson Hotel because the cooking kettle closed after the incident with the cows within.
Rowderson Suites, I believe.
Let's start with you. So you remembered streets are dark. They are deserted as well, unusually so, perhaps because of the quarantine that has been enforced because of the alleged raboon fever that has broken out. You can make your way through those quiet streets, trudging through the polar night in search of the law speaker's house, where you have enjoyed fine lunches of a lutefisk, and you can knock on his door.
Before I do, I would like to ask I want to say elf on the shop, the seer in the ear.
You have the seer in your ear, Prani, and I'm emphasizing the H in Prani because you spent the whole of the last episode saying Prani, not a P. It's an H.
Prani it is.
Prani. Okay. Prani. Right.
Poor old Fjorn the Scald is turning in his grave whenever he listens to the podcast.
So the question I want to ask is the deed legitimate?
Yes.
Okay. So based on what the law speaker now tells me, I may learn something about the law speaker. Okay, so with that knowledge, I will knock on the door.
Okay, so the spirit of Harani the Seer has informed you that your deed is indeed representative of an age-old understanding that the local Skraeling would have passed it on to the heirs of Bjarni Bjarnason. As you knock on the door, the law speaker Krapti Thorfridson hurries towards it, opens it up a crack, and then, having seen you, he says, "By Thor's roaring thunder, where have you been? Get in, we're on a lockdown, you know. A lot has been happening while you've been away." And then he gestures, points to his ear, and then does a kind of cutting gesture to his throat.
Subtle. Oh, he wants me to cut his... But no, I understand. Okay, yeah.
And the campaign takes a wildly different turn.
Air will play along.
What on earth happened? Did you not think to use the papers I gave you to enlist the ferryman?
We did.
Well, there must be some mistake. The Harbord swears you never arrived at his jetty.
Well, something's gone awry then. No, we took the ferry. We went to the mines.
Well, not with Harbord, because he's been here all along, knocking on my door asking for his fee.
But
And who was that?
But we did. I met them on the ferry.
Did you at least find evidence to support Bjarni's claim that the document is genuine? And but Daniel will never be able to claim the land here. You take it. Take the document back. I will give you my legal opinion for free.
Oh, thank you. And what is your legal opinion?
I do notice that you have changed your shape more times than I have had, Ludafisk. My advice to you is to cover yourself up, or you will have every beggar and criminal in town looking to carve you up to diamond dust.
That's a good point.
They
You're
would.
very
They
shy.
totally would. Thank you. I sparkle. I appreciate the advice. I should, in fact, cover myself up.
And now, listen carefully, for I shall say this only once, and it is very important. My legal opinion is this. The deed does pose a legal claim that predates even the Doc Álfar, and we know that Jarl Finnbogi had to sell his ancestral claims to the Sons of Ivaldi. We also know that Finnbogi found out about Bjarni's land deed. He clearly wanted to make the poor man's death look like an accident. As my investigators told me, suicide by bear. But you got in the way of Snow White and his intention to get his mines back. Of course, he didn't expect old Bjarni to come back to life and reclaim the deed. Who on Midgard would? Now, Daniel is next in line to inherit, but the Doc Álfar, as you know, also want the deed. And I imagine they have destroyed Daniel's records in order to try and invalidate his claim. Now, this is the crucial point of law, my friend. In the absence of an heir, the state claims the land, in which case it is arguable that the new Jarl owns the land, or perhaps the Ivaldians do as custodians of the land with their imperial endorsement. Either way, you had best try and resolve it with the Ivaldians, or have your friend Grjotgarth to have him state his claim as the new Jarl.
Oh, so Gigi is actually an appropriate... He would be recognized as a potential Jarl?
He doesn't quite have the official moniker yet. As you know, in our society, one becomes a Jarl through inheritance, but exceptional military leadership or wealth can also elevate an individual to this rank. Were he to take on his responsibilities in the community, it may well be that the man you know as Gigi would indeed have claim to all of this vast mineral wealth.
He does act like a Jarl, it must be said.
Does he?
He takes baths and everything, unlike most of the rest of people around here.
I
Okay.
take baths. I mean, usually in a stream, but anyway.
I do have to say, it is very interesting to me that you are now consorting with an iron woodite. Hell's bells, it's very fascinating. I've never seen one this up close. Does it bite?
Only if you annoy me. I can talk, you know.
Oh, my word, I've heard of these experiments gone wrong, and the philosophical implications of raising animals to sentience are dazzling.
Pleased to meet you too, Mr. Snobby.
That's not very polite. But anyway, I should not be seen talking with you any further. The Gap Men and the Winter Wise have made it quite clear that I am not to consort with you, and nobody is to talk about the scar in the sky.
Right. So we certainly won't talk about that.
Hey, I'm an important part of this party. I've made an impact, you know.
She has made an impact on my people too. Repeatedly.
Okay.
So there.
Call me it. I'll call you it as well.
Well, I feel that I have done my duty. I have given you a legal opinion and an intense study of the document for free. I believe that we have come to some kind of an accord. Do take the knowledge and do what you will with it. Be very careful, though, on the streets, because the Winter Wise, they are not your friends.
Do you know anything about the orcnea over there?
Orcneas? No, the Orcneas have not been seen since the Doom.
Well, let's just say I have a hunch that they're close by.
I can't imagine anything of the sort. The early warning systems of the Sons of Ivaldi would have kicked in and let us know of any incursion.
What early warning system?
Well, there are watchers out on the ice. I believe one of the gentlemen is called Willy Blom Blecker Evaldison.
Ah, I see. Well, thank you. Did you get everything you needed?
I did, yes. I think I did. Thank you, Crafty, for your time.
Then we will shimmer dissolve across to Leomi, the Álfar, who strides like a colossus into the Temple of the Bear, its wooden frames adorned with the likenesses of Odin, Thor, and an array of the Norse pantheon.
Leomi, somewhat glassy-eyed as he approaches the temple, turns to Alma, who is not there, and says, Visna, and points to the temple in front of them. Visna, look, it is the Ash Ingstastru. There the gods must hold their courts each day. What a wonder.
To be clear, you're talking to no one?
That's correct. Okay. I'm talking to no one. Yeah, I thought Alma had come with me. And I'm a, little flashback moment, little elder tree moment, if you will, a little damaged tree moment.
That's wonderful. So, yeah, she decided to go with Air, obviously, instead, clearly proving who her favorite is.
I mean, she was very conflicted. She tossed a coin at the end.
Ultimately, though, Air sparkles.
It's the sparkly. I think that's exactly what it is. So as Leomi enters the temple, he is chanting the Galder to focus his mind and to ask questions, reaching out to the divine and ask questions. And is going to start by asking, if the orcneas are parachuting, where are they parachuting from?
You're using your corpse charm to try and speak to the spirits of the dead and asking that question.
Exactly. That's exactly what I was implying.
The only challenge with that is it has to have a yes-no answer.
Yes.
So whilst your question is an interesting one, because yes, parachutists do presumably need to launch from some kind of platform, you need a different construction in order to get a yes-no answer.
Yes. Well, we'll try again. All right. If the orcs are parachuting, then they must have dropped from something.
Yes.
Are they dropping from the ship that the Doc Álfar had mentioned, the Nailfarer?
Yes. Have you actually worked out how these yes-no questions go now? Because you've got an unprecedented line of interrogation.
Maybe.
Have you been inspired by the Temple of the Bear? Do you feel holy and devout?
Perhaps. A final question. Are they indeed headed for the place known as Sakva? I thought I could get it. Sakvabeker. Sakvabeker? Okay, give me a line read and then I'll do it again.
Nope. All these bits are staying in.
Rat bastards.
Do you mean Sakvabeker?
Yes, indeed. Yes.
One of the interesting things, just as an aside here, is the transcript. You upload it to RSS and it gives you the transcript, and it tries to recognize what people have said. It always says for Sakvabeker, it says socks for Becca. So if anyone is planning on buying a present for Becca, make sure to get her socks.
Bend it like Becker, if you will.
So your question is, one more time.
Are the orcneas indeed heading for the place known as Socks for Becker?
Yes. Now, as you sit suffusing yourself in the Alfsonger and reaching out to the spirits of the land for their wisdom, Aldinger comes to your side and places a gentle sprig on your shoulder and says, "Brother, verily a figure of power looms in the morrow's shade. Mark my words well, man is wolf to man, and it stirs disquiet in my heart."
Brother, what can you tell me of Sakvabeker? Socks for Becker.
I have not heard of such a place. Perhaps it is an imperial site?
And the Nailfarer. What can you tell me of this ship, the Nailfarer?
Then it is beyond my ken. But I am concerned about these mortals who clothe themselves in godly strength and yet are stripped of humility's comforting garb. The vision weighs heavy on mine old heart, a dread fear that Midgard's bloom might wilt neath the shadow of these adulterers of Mim.
Indeed. Brother, how are the bear cubs?
They fare well. Thank you for your inquiry. We have sadly lost trace of their mother after the sad events in the Asbjornsen estate. Their mother, Snow White, has not been found.
A tragedy indeed.
It does occur to me that I may be able to assist you looking for this. Verbecker, I may invoke the Warden Stone and ask for you, the land spirit, to determine where this black site may be.
Please, brother, that would be wonderful.
He goes into something of a trance as he begins to sing the Alf Songer. The whole temple resonates with his lusty voice as he reaches out to the spirits, and once his divination is complete, he says, the spirits of the land tell me that the place that you seek is an abandoned mine, yet the doors to the mine are tightly sealed, brother. They tell me that the Den Mother herself guards an alternative way in. I do not know exactly what they mean when they tell me these things. Perhaps you may divine their hidden meaning or purpose.
Thank you, brother. Wonderful, wonderful.
Now be careful, brother, for fools rush in where Álfar fear to tread.
Indeed. And I travel with many fools. One in particular, but many fools.
Oh, yes. Pray, can Icthenia's dew not quench my rising dread, birthed from the whispers of Yggdrasil? For its sacred whispers seem stolen to me by specters of war.
Leomi's eyes glaze over a little bit, and not looking quite at Oldinger, says, cling tight to the banner, my dear, and wanders from the temple.
Before you go, brother.
Yes, brother.
Keep your eyes on the sons of Ivaldi. Exalted by Bangsy's hand, they seek to replace Yggdrasil's divine providence with their own alleged omnipotence.
Yes, it must not come to pass.
We will now go to Terry.
Well, I shall start off the same way we did before we went on our journey of the mind, and I will head towards the garage, where I will put my Skidaverda to bed.
Mindfiat says at that, here I am, stuck in the freezing cold, while you go and sit by a warm fireplace. I suppose you're going to have a hot chocolate, are you?
How many times have I got to tell you? You can't feel the cold. And then I walk away. And then off to see Banksy.
So you walk back into the hallowed halls of learning that is the Firefox Institute, and once again knock on the door, and you hear a strident voice call out, "Come the fuck in or fuck the fuck off!"
I walk in.
Billy Blom, you buffoon! What is it that you're doing here at this time of night?
I'm to you with information, and also I need advice.
Your robes, man. Your robes are way too loud. I'm getting tinnitus here.
Well, maybe you should shut your eyes a bit and stick your fingers in your ears.
Right, what is it that you want? I haven't got all day. We have to make this Raboon fever thing stick.
Well, I think there's worse than that happening.
Such as?
Well, it seems that the orcneas are coming.
Orcneas? Don't be
yes.
preposterous, man. We haven't seen Orcneas since they destroyed the station at Mimisbrunni.
Well, I've seen them, or a sign of them, just days ago, not far from here. And also, I know that they are headed towards the mine.
Indeed is that so. The old overseer studies you intensely using his soul sight, the ability of the Sons of Ivaldi to closely scrutinize those they are talking to and detect falsehoods. You aren't, Villeblom, getting delusions of adequacy, are you?
More like prophetic visions, shared with some companions that I found along the way to help.
Companions, you say? We can't have too many people knowing our plans.
Oh, there's not many. There's an Álfar, and there's some strange wolverine creature, and there's a giant fop, and a dverg. But if we can break him down, we could actually. He's covered, encrusted with diamonds, so worth quite a bit, I think, if we can break him down.
Yes, well, as for the Jarl, we know full well that his lineage suffers from, let's say, higher than normal recessive genes. We cannot have them meddling in our business. As we say in Old Norse, a powerless tree cannot withstand a great storm. Let me think. Orcneas, do you have any proof of this?
There was the remains of one that in the town near here. I haven't seen it myself, but the companions have.
Well,
and
what is this hearsay and bunkum? Come to me when you have real proof, sir.
But we shared a vision as we entered the town, and we were ambushed by Orcneas parachuting in. And we were wiped out not too far from the mine. You sent us there. And so I think what we need to do is come up with a different plan, because if we go straight there, then everyone is doomed.
Yes, well, the Evergreen has been badly compromised, partly because of the antics of those buffoons that you determined to hang around with. We cannot get a message to them. I will have to give you the keys to the Skeedver garage, and you can cause a distraction. Take as many people as you can on your infernal contraptions, and hurry to alert the people at the site.
I think a direct approach is not recommended. I think we're going to have to use our cunning with this. The companions, yeah, they are fools, they are buffoons, but...
Expendable?
Oh, definitely expendable. But I would say that given the right conditions, they could cause some trouble for our enemies. So...
Exactly my thinking, Villeblom. Get them all on the Skeedverg, arrange a distraction, and you carry on to the Sokverbecker archive directly and raise the hue and cry.
That sounds...
Well, have I not made myself clear?
That sounds like a plan, but see, I am worried. There were a lot of Orcneas, and they were coming in from above, and we didn't get to see all of them. We were defeated by at least 15.
Villeblom, do you wish to excel in the Winterwires? Do you wish to change those god-awful yellow robes of yours for something a little less putrescent? Well then, sir, you are not a grandee, you are a blandee. Get on with the mission as I have instructed you.
Very well. Turn round. Walk out.
Unfortunately, Bangsi of Valdison has all the charm of Gary and Frecky. You headed to gather your fellows. Have you got any other plans in mind there, Terry?
Well, we can't do it straight away because I need to get our ragtag bunch back together again. We did say 4 hours, so there will be a delay. But what Bangsy doesn't know won't hurt him, I don't think.
Megan, as you stroll back up to him to prepare for the journey ahead and enter in the coordinates, says to you, "The things I could accomplish with my high-powered motors and snow treads and connection to Mim, if only life were not so utterly devoid of purpose and meaning. Did you want my help or not, oh illustrious inventor?"
I did program that into you, didn't I? Go on then, tell me your ideas.
Yes, must have gotten lost in all the excitement, if that's what you call it. Well, seems to me the simple thing to do is to go faster. If we go at maximum velocity, then we'll beat the paratroopers to their own spot, won't we? Stands to reason.
I knew that.
Of course you did, oh illustrious inventor. You're simply proving that the universe is composed of unending monotony and the unfathomable power of snow.
Yes, well, you get on sorting out your coordinates, and I will go and gather our illustrious companions.
I'll talk to the other Skeedverg in the meantime and get them all revved up, if such a thing is possible. Let's move now to CJ. Another shimmer dissolve, and we're just gonna go straight to that bath scene. And again, I don't want to make this.
Let's make it lascivious. Come on.
Yeah,
an X-rated podcast. You know, there's a podcast of CJ's fine form in suds and lava.
Yes, so I'm in the bath. Is that it?
At the Rowderson, you have a rather ornate tub, and you slide into the welcoming embrace of the steaming water, and a profound sense of relief washes over you.
And then kind of like talking to himself. There's nobody else in the room. He's just thinking out loud to himself. He goes, yes, the loofah. My friend, this is the weapon of a civilized man. A Drengur must exfoliate so the gods may recognize him when he arrives in Valhalla. That's his rub-a-dub 3-minute tub speech.
Do you have a rubber ducky? I don't know if you can see this. I literally have a Viking rubber ducky.
Oh,
let's say for the sake of argument that he does. There's a little ducky, and then he has his loofah. Yes, the sweet sensation of exfoliation.
The bath is healing and restorative, and the weeks of trials and tribulations seem to melt away. Who knows how long passes in the warm embrace of the bath. You close your eyes, you play with rubber ducky, but then suddenly the tranquility is shattered. The ceiling to your sanctuary rips open with a deafening clatter. The metal roof above cascading to the floor, and through the steam-filled room you see the malevolent eyes of intruders. Their cold intent is immediately apparent. The bathtub is punctured by a stream of bullets, and you notice your blood rushing into the retreating wall.
Oh, I just died. Can I reach over and try to grab something? Oh, I take the loofah. She's just going to take the loofah, and he's going to say, "Exfoliate this, you bastards!" So he's going to throw it at them before dying. He has to go to Valhalla. He's got to. He looks pretty now. He's pretty for Valhalla.
Exfoliate this, you bastards. Quite right. Air and Alma, you are walking along, having enjoyed a frank discussion with the law speaker Krapti. You are clutching the deed when a stray bullet whizzes past your ear, ricocheting off a nearby building behind you. A door is flung open without warning, and 3 orcneas assassins burst out and fill you full of lead. Your nighttime stroll is abruptly ended by the shrieking of feral orcneas.
Not again.
Villeblom, you leave the garage, and as you do so, you see 2 spindly and gaunt brood brothers step out of the shadows, and one of them raises its hand before the other punctuates the night with intense bursts of bullets. And with chilling growls, the savage reavers leap upon you and rend you limb from limb, which takes a little bit longer because you do have a couple of robotic arms. Leomi, you hear the screams of people in the distance as you stroll down the hill from your fireside chat at the Temple of the Bear. The echoes of the townsfolk of Haltmakar being ripped to shreds by the Orcneas horde is enough to give you pause, and perhaps for a moment you think you are back on the battlefield of Brevalier, but then you too take an axe to the head and fall to the ground insensate.
The giant slips free.
And then, once again, across the trails, Haltmakar sparkles with electric halos. The warm lights of the brightly coloured wooden houses offer solace from the biting cold, inviting you into the safety, rest, and warmth of the menfolk's dwellings. An inky blackness descends. You know the story. Welcome to the polar night.
Wait. This is getting old. We can't split up. Okay? We can't split up.
Can we all share what we learned before we die again?
Important question. Is Gigi clean?
No, yeah.
No.
Sadly not. You are back in your bedraggled and befouled pantaloons.
My olfactory senses are still being battered.
So we need to stick together, obviously.
Yeah.
Splitting up has bad consequences. I'm going to guess the same thing happened to you, happened to me, and Sparkle's here.
Well, I think before we move any further forwards, we should discuss what we all found out while we were separated.
Yeah.
I found out that during lockdowns they don't give you maidens for your bath. An outrage. Outrage, I tell you.
I can see the Jarl thing now.
Yeah, see?
Yes.
What
Quite.
Jarl thing?
Good news about the paperwork.
Yes. The deed is authentic. Gigi, you and I will have to have a talk later if we survive all this. We need to go to Soxverbecker. Soxverbecker, right? Oh no.
That's correct.
Socks for who?
Becker. Becker.
Speaking of socks, I need new clothes, at least. If I can't have a bath without dying, at least I can have fresh clothes.
Meganfield the Skeedberg turns its headlamps to you at that, Gigi, and says, I've been meaning to ask, did you know legs go well? You gave up all the slush and muck for a summer of love with a deranged perk. I told him it was all the same thing in the end. Damn.
Did that thing just speak to me?
I just thought you had his tongue and all. Maybe for sentimental reasons.
Or not. It's nobody's business. By the way, we should probably get more weapons.
Yeah.
And
Ooh,
I'm
ooh,
rich.
ooh,
Let's go
ooh.
shopping, everyone.
Alma's going to take her drone out. There we go. Right. Don't let me down.
Okay, look after buzzes with excitement, delighted to be your own personal halo.
this about Sokvabacker?
Socks for who?
Sokvabacker. That's how you actually pronounce it.
Yes.
Anyway.
It's a mine.
Oh.
It's a mine, and the orcneas are going there, and they're coming from that ship the dock of Álfar spoke of, the Nail Fair.
Is that where we need to go?
It's where we need to go, and there's a secret back door, a way in, but it's guarded. Front is sealed. It's an abandoned mine.
The front door didn't work when we tried it. We got shot to pieces. So how about the back door?
We didn't even get as far as the front door last time.
Right.
Give me a wits challenge roll, Eric, please.
Yeah, Air.
I don't have a camera, but I rolled a 20. And that adds up to 24.
We do have Doc Alpha detector devices installed on your laptop, though, so we do know when you are cheating.
Okay.
So you have the epiphany that the coordinates for Sokvabacker are on the other side of the mountain range, the hill that is also dug into for Mine 7. So Mine 7 is adjacent to or opposite and probably digs into the same geomorphic range as Rothriker's Drift.
If I had a camera right now, you'd see me face palming. Yes, of course, yes. Yeah, it all adds up, doesn't it? We should make our way to mine number 7. I bet you they connect. That's the back door we're looking for. That might be why I was told to go there in the first place. But never mind that right now.
Gigi, did you want to go shopping?
Gigi is thinking everything over and says, I don't mean to suggest that we are the problem, but so far, the orcneas have met us in the field and in my bath. They seem so far to show up wherever we are. Therefore, we may perhaps dictate the field of battle.
What do you propose, potential Jarl?
Let's get some big fucking guns and entrench ourselves and take them down. Remember, I'm rich. I can buy big things. Storm shooters, tank guns, something bigger.
How much
larger.
time do we have? Because you weren't even finished your bath before they showed up.
He had a
Enough
long time.
Oh,
Washing away weeks of anguish because he'd spent at least 3 adventures in soiled clothing, and so I think we could say that he was in there for a good 3 hours.
Therefore, I suggest we visit Gunnar. How do they say it in Norway, in Old Norse? Gunnar.
Well, I've been working with Gunnar. But...
I mean, Gunnar, if
Gunnar.
Socks for Becker.
yeah.
Socks for Gunnar. And buy some guns. And I know he's got clothes as well. Some military fatigues. Something a little bit of razzle-dazzle.
Any bombs? If we're going into a mine, then you need dynamite.
He has bombs. And we have a walking cash machine in air.
Wait a minute.
That's true.
I may be rich, but he's a walking diamond mine.
He makes a good point.
Air, my old friend, you are about to do your greatest service to me yet. As currency. It's exquisite, pure diamond.
You and I will have to have a talk later. But this is for the good of us and the good of the North, Air tells himself.
Except we are, the entire town is on lockdown.
That is true.
So it'll be,
that is true.
So it'll be cheap.
But
So I shall knock louder.
Gunnar's gun store is the one place that is open in defiance of the curfew. Its neon sign fizzing in the darkness. Gunnar Weatherbank has always been a slightly discontented fellow, and if anyone's going to buck the rules and do their own thing, then it's him. So you are welcome to see whether he is indeed open for business. We do know he has a penchant for diamonds.
2 socks for Gunnar.
Well, in that case,
This
we
is
need
March.
to be very, very careful when we approach the store. We need to be all very aware, and we need to make sure that we are not walking into another ambush.
No, no, not that again.
Fork that.
We are definitely stuck in a time loop.
That's the first time we've heard that.
You may knock on the door. Gigi, are you issuing forth?
Yes, knocking on the door.
Air will. I think it wise for Air to conceal himself, because I think if Gunners takes one look at him, the value of individual diamonds will plummet. Negotiate a price, then I will come in.
Yes. What is it you want?
Or not.
What an eccentric performance.
Yes.
Sorry, say
Have a good
that
all
again.
day. What is it? There's a curfew on, you know.
We need weapons, large weapons, deadly
Oh,
weapons.
it's you, Joel. Oh, my apologies for being so rude to you last time we met. I was very upset about Eric Redshirt, and he did have my favourite coat. Oh, but all is forgiven. Such a fine regal Jarl you are, graceful in power and so supreme in judgment, much like the majestic eagles of old.
Yes, and now I require weapons so devastating that Thor himself shall clutch at his pearls at the sight of them.
And bombs, please.
And bombs.
Well, you've come to the right place. The tales of your victories, O valiant Joel, they form the pillars of my faith and my pride. You really are one of the new gods.
Lovely, thank you. And he kind of beckons the shopkeeper Gunnar a little closer so that the others can't hear. Also, I need to discuss fashion with you. A man should never go into battle looking like an unwashed peasant. You can help me, can't you?
Yes, of course. Where are my manners? Do you want something off the peg, sir, or do you want something made up?
Your finest. Make me look delicious.
Well, what a magnificent girth you have. People must gasp in wonder at it, Jarl.
That's the point. Imagine the surprise on the orcneas' faces when they see how beautiful I look.
Yes, and have you thought of a colour, sir? We have some excellent blue serge. The ladies like a man in a suit, don't they, Jarl?
I like purple.
Purple it is. Even your mere gaze, O luminous Jarl, is a bounty in itself, guiding my fate like the North Star.
Wonderful.
Oh, take a little while to bring the richness of your garb up to snuff. So, would you mind if I take your measurements and may I inquire as to how you will be paying for this magnificent tapestry that I plan to weave?
Well, as luck would have it, we recently came into some money.
Oh, you did. I do.
Above and beyond what I already have.
I do like money, of course. If you've brought me diamonds, then all is forgiven.
Yes, my figure is with me today, for I shall bring you all of the diamonds.
Wonderful.
Dun, dun, dun.
Do take a cue. Rest your feet, and I don't want that wombat in here though. Can you take it outside? It might eat things.
Oh, I hate this town. She storms out.
And while you're at it, you can get rid of that tree too. I mean, people might mistake it for a hat stand.
I wouldn't want to get the way of your new clothing. I've heard every girl crazy for a sharp-dressed Jarl.
Wait,
Now, I do have a pressing question. How long will this take? Because I believe we have about 4 hours before we all die. Again.
well, I have to take your measurements first, then I can whip something up.
And by whip you mean 20 minutes? 30?
Oh, not for someone of your protuberances.
So Gigi kind of looks back, takes a deep breath, really wants some new clothes, then accepts. Let's just go with the weapons for now. We are in a rush.
whatever came to pass for that thief and murderer, the Doc Álfar?
He's still. Wait. I'll tell you in a moment. Show me the guns first. Guns, bombs. You'll
Yes,
see.
yes,
You will be
take your-
delightfully surprised.
Take your pick. Take your pick.
Look for the cannons. I feel like we need it, whatever we can get.
Do you have any Rotgamer howling dogs?
Well, if you've got the coin, I've got the connections.
Do you have them here?
I
In the
can
shop?
get them, but I don't keep them in the store.
I
They're
need-
in a secure warehouse.
We need everything you have here today, now, this moment. We don't have time. Like I said, we've been killed twice already. The clock is ticking. We need whatever you have on hand. Do you have any more
Unless
storm
you do
shooters?
delivery.
Oh, well, you see, you give me enough diamonds and I can do anything. I've got a chisel here if you want to have a little bit of a go with it.
It's worth it. You should just ask for delivery. I'll know where to pick it up.
Delivery? Do we have
Yes.
time?
Yes. It'll be a special delivery. Just
All right, we will have it delivered. Where is this warehouse of yours, by the way?
Yes, just on the other side of town.
Hmm.
I'm sure this son of a rowdy on his motorized scooter can head over there and make himself useful. The Winterwise have been messing up this town ever since they arrived, inflating prices with their, well, they've got no taste, have they? Look at those yellow robes.
Yes. Oh, I see. Delivery. He can go get it with the Dvergs, come back, we can pay.
Yes.
Yes. Let's do that then. All right. We'll take 2 Hrjotgamers, a Sprengulvarpa, the burst thrower. We wanted, bombs.
One of
Dynamite.
those. Do you have any flamethrowers? I don't see them on this
Ooh.
list.
Oh, they're fun, but whoever has it, I'll stand behind them. I've been singed more than once.
Yes, and orcneas definitely are flammable.
I think everyone's pretty much flammable. Maybe not Sparkles. Is he flammable?
Excellent question. Perhaps not. Hopefully not.
Uh-oh.
The air is tainted with the shrill sound of far-off screams as you recognize the familiar sound of the orcneas feasting on the living. When the great ring fortress of the Skull fell at the end of the war, you recall the last panicked broadcasts called the orcneas the Eaters of the Dead, and now again they were on your doorstep, the sound of their grunts and snarls merging with the intermittent noise of the machine guns. Oh no, blimey! What's that all about then?
They're the ones I told you about.
They are here. I knew we shouldn't have wasted time.
Oh bloody hell! Take cover! Oh mother!
and with a howl, oh my once again. So close.
Footsteps grow louder and interspersed with even more roaring of machine guns, constantly regenerated by their Jotun DNA. The orcneas are always hungry, driven by an intense need to fuel their ravenous cells. Within minutes, they are upon you, the approaching march, marked by their berserker howls, their minds broken by exposure to the Gununga Gap. They advance on Gunner's gun store, and within moments, the whole store is alight, burning and immolated with grenades and gunfire.
During these moments, is there a back door that we can...
Run out of? Yeah.
I think we're all dead.
There is indeed a back door, but as you reach for it, you hear the harsh brigand songs of rebels, the drawling songs of hard labor convicts, romances sung in thieves' camps, as if it is a parody of the spiritual Alfsonger. Something out there possessed by the starry void. You see this creature walking proof that the darkness is anything but empty, its suit echoing with the howls of the eternal choir. It summons dark spirits, eldritch spirits, picked with ice and rime, animated with vengeance, and you are flung back inside the burning building, and you scream your last.
So it's still on fire, but could Gigi draw his sword and go out the front?
You may go out whichever way you wish, but you are met with a hail of bullets, and in an instant you are back to where you began. Welcome to the Polar Night.
Leomi
You robbed me of
offers,
my line.
we're going to need a bigger boat.
We can't stay here. Let's go to the mine now. Now, this is
Back
the
door.
bad place.
Let's go to the back door.
This time, full throttle.
Sounds good.
Yeah.
Let's go.
Let's outpace them, and fight these orcneas on ground of our choosing, not theirs.
Okay, then. I suppose all my engineering is wasted. All you want to do is holler and hoot while I carry you as fast as I can, oblivious to the existential uncertainty that comes with every trial.
That's it. We're all
Megan.
we're all going to get Skeetberg, and then we're going to go.
The full budget audio effects.
Driving at maximum speed.
I have low confidence in this plan. Anyway, go ahead. Sorry.
Let's just skidoo.
Or skedaddle, as the case may be. But
23 skidoo.
one of the things that your automated systems will do to take any threat of crashing or careening off the icy trails would be to put them on autopilot. Megan Fjord recommends that he and his fellow Skeeterberg handle the driving for you so that you can concentrate on things like singing your songs and chatting amongst yourselves.
Yes.
That way you won't crash in case a paratrooper drops in front of your headlights. The journey that was so many hours on foot as you first traversed this trail all of those months ago with Bjarni Bjarnason, taking him to the Atastoop, the Troll's Tongue, to throw him off to his death. The events that have led to this whole saga, that journey of many hours, is truncated to perhaps an hour of whizzing through the snow. Again, Alma's tongue is lolling with happiness. The drone look after is also whizzing around, and combined with the sightless ability for Villeblom, the detective abilities of the dream sight, you evade any of the paratroopers. You are zooming far too quickly. They plunge to the earth, dashing into the snow far behind you, and you approach the entrance to Mine 7, where you recognize the once broken water pump that you helped to fix. And inside you are fairly sure that you will see some friendly, familiar faces in the form of the Seven Dverg.
Does this mean that everyone dies and you help Makar? No?
Hello there! You again! You think that we are happy to enjoy this visit to our lovely mine, which is going to be a real good treat for all of us? But we have told you before, we are not at home to Mr. Cockup. We cannot have you talking up our shafts.
There are orcneas headed this way that aim to kill everyone. Let us in so we can have some semblance of a chance at pushing them back.
Exactly.
CJ, I'm going to ask that you make a will roll to show your charm and persuasion. Now you are an honourable fellow, so you should have some bonuses to this.
Do I get
Plus
a...
6. Plus
Does
6.
that get me a wheel? Yeah, okay. 9 plus 2, 11.
Okay, just enough. Oh dear, when we have to stop, we lose valuable minerals. We are not coffee machines. We cannot just hit the pause button. Besides, we already have the irritation of the mother bear and all of her kinder cubs. We will not meet all of our erections.
There won't be pause buttons if you're all dead.
Exactly that.
Orcneas we are dealing with. They are on our tails. If you don't let us in, we'll all be dead, including yourselves.
Well, it is very, very annoying, but if you can deal with the mother bear and we can get our actions back on track, then we will be most appreciative, except for the Duck Alpha. We know what he wants to do. He wants to bamboozle us and steal all of our minerals.
We want to get through the mine. Is there a shaft that leads through the mountain? I will bamboozle you later.
Yes, you can go to the B shaft, but that is what I am telling you. There is the mother bear.
I was warned, Leomi says, there is a guardian to the back door of the mine we are trying to get to.
Yes, the bear, she has made her den there. They do not hibernate, you know. They make their dens and they are good mothers. They're giving their little toothless babies a little home.
Do we have a spare human?
One
That's
bear
what I was thinking.
better. One bear is better than a horde of orcneas. Let's go.
What we could do is drive the bear out of its den towards the orcneas and then use it to delay them while we get on to Sulphur Breaker.
Excellent plan. Now
Good.
let's go.
Can that be done?
I can handle a bear. I'm
just wondering whether Bill, who has just prayed at the temple of the bear, is going to go along with that plan.
I'm vaguely misremembering that I had some way of interacting with the animals, but some way to charm them, sweet talk the bear. Otherwise, we just put the men in front. That's worked for us before.
Yeah. Well, there's 7 Dverg here. If there were only 6, I doubt they'd even notice right away.
How far are the orcneas behind us? Are they headed in our direction and imminent?
Let's just say they're hot on your heels.
right. Almost gonna go towards this shaft. I'm gonna go.
Right. If it doesn't work, we can try again.
That's true.
Have you not heard of positive thinking? Come on.
I'm positive we're all going to die. Great, let's do this.
How big is the shield thing that Terry can make? Could it fill a whole shaft?
It's 3 meter diameter, I do believe, and it only lasts for 1 minute, so we have to choose carefully.
So Gigi's going to look and say, we need to lure the orcneas into the mouth of the cave, put up our shield, and blast the fuck out of them.
And I do think we need to be quick, and we need to cast any preparatory spells that we might need to make ourselves more powerful. Because it won't take long. I'll cast a few runes and give us some protection and some extra damage as well. Could the Skidverger, could we use those independently? Have they all got harpoon cannons?
No, just yours.
Just mine. Okay.
You retrofitted it with the latest in puncturing technology.
Yes, well...
There is a deep growl that reverberates through the B shaft that the Dverg pointed you to, and padding out of the darkness, those of you with more than just normal vision see the huge hulking form of a polar bear pad towards you, its teeth bared. Now, this particular specimen has already eviscerated some members of the party and has obviously got a taste for man flesh.
I'm so glad I'm not a man.
Yeah. Can I see any of the orcneas? You're like getting closer?
The orcneas will be hundreds of meters away, and you probably have 10 minutes before they find you, if they find you, because you have all just entered a mine shaft.
I think we should try and get by the bear.
Yeah.
Not try and set it against the orcneas. But I don't know how to get by the bear.
Talk to it, man.
Gigi, I presume that you're out front, like the natural leader that you are. Your sword drawn, facing the polar bear down.
That is a
course he is.
possibility. Yes, yeah, of course. It's honor bound.
Then something very
Oh, dear.
interesting happens because
Ooh.
Isbjorn stares at the heirloom sword bear claw that you hold in your hands and instantly goes supine. You remember how once the bear Snow White was berated by Finn Bogey and collapsed to the snow, cowering, the majestic beast reduced to fear and panic. It appears that bear paw has some kind of effect on the creature, and it slinks to one side, letting you pass.
You say it went supine?
Mm-hmm.
Do you think it wants me to rub its belly?
I wouldn't risk it.
It is rather scared of you, or maybe that blade that you hold, and it is showing its belly in a sign of submission. So if we all gather around you, then we can all pass relatively safely while it is being submissive
Yes.
to you.
Yes.
So fancy pants, you stand here, we'll walk past, and then you come behind us. Come on.
I'm not
Thank you, Mrs.
expected
Bear.
to do anything, am I?
Just stand there.
Just stand there.
You
Keep
said
holding that
submissive,
sword.
and I didn't get the wench at the
Well, once we get safely
Just-
past it, you can knock yourself out.
Stand
No, I
there
don't
looking
want to.
impressive.
It is the
Yes.
expectation.
Leomi is inching past
Yeah,
both
Same
Gigi
here.
and the bear.
almost
Mhm,
sort of
likewise.
like
Yep.
trying
Me
to
too.
crowd control the rest of them past this bear.
Behind the bear is an elevator shaft that was hidden from view behind its bulk. The hidden elevator only has one button, down.
I suggest we push that button.
Yeah.
I
Get on there.
suggest we get in, then push the button.
Well, even better.
Yeah.
Perhaps we even wait for Gigi and then push the button.
Should we?
Is there
Yeah,
room
okay.
for Gigi in that elevator?
Is going to be very tight. You're all going to be pressed against those soiled pantaloons.
Oh.
Oh,
Oh no.
It's not my fault you won't let me have a bath.
I didn't know you could release noxious smells like I can. Oh,
With the right fish, anything's possible.
The elevator shudders to life as you press the button and begins to descend into the hidden depths. It opens a few minutes later. The steel doors move into one side, and you see an array of suspended racks, glass display cabinets, mobile shelving units, all kinds of things that are almost as if it's a cultural archive.
Oh.
ooh.
It is very cold here, also as if refrigerated.
Alma's gonna take look after out again. Let it buzz slightly ahead.
Look after immediately spots a rather rotund man, his hair scraped back in a long ponytail, who seems to sweat even in the refrigerated cold. He's working at the back of the archive. The whole place is illuminated with strip lighting and filled with a loud whirring, such as would come from cooling systems.
Oh, I can see someone.
Is he an Evaldi?
He's wearing a robe and he has a beard. The robe is inflated as if it's a cold suit. And his beard is clipped short to avoid perhaps an awkward accumulation of ice. And he comes towards you, muttering his way through the thicket of suspended racks. And he spots you and he says, "Oh, hello, my friends. Tell me, how many times have we done this now?"
Hello.
Oh,
"Hello! Silly me, where are my manners? Welcome to the Doomsday Vault. My name is Rauda Serden, and if you don't remember, I am the caretaker here." He throws out his arms like an inflatable impresario.
And Gigi steps forward, flits his dirty cape back, and goes, "And I'm Griotgarth the Magnificent. My friends call me Gigi for short."
Wonderful, wonderful. Can I offer you a cup of tea?
What? Why did he ask us how many times have we done this now?
He's probably seen us die. You know, the 4 times we just did.
There is no need to whisper, my friends. I could tell you exactly.
For us, it's our first time here.
Oh, dear me. Well, then perhaps this will not work out.
Oh? We're just hiding from the orcneas, really.
You have at least found a good place to hide. You see, we are servants of the Firefox Institute, and I believe that Bangsy has triggered this time loop as a protective measure. It's like a sprinkler system or an emergency alarm. We will not be able to undo the effect until such time as the orcneas threat has been contained.
Have they made it this far before?
No, the whole automated defenses all came online at the same time as the time loop activated. We have many important artifacts to protect in Sock-Verbeka.
I shall stride forward to the front and announce myself. Will any of these artifacts be useful that we can use for defense?
Well, if you can make use of military history or genetic blueprints or cultural treasures, then of course, this Doomsday Vault is designed to protect the very best of mankind and store it in a time capsule, if you will.
So this is a records vault.
Yes, we are protecting the memory of mankind off the grid.
Military history section sounds like it would be really useful right now. By military history, do you mean like books or like old guns?
Everything is stored on digital tape.
Oh.
One of my jobs as caretaker is to transfer the materials. I'm sorry you look disappointed, but knowledge really is power.
Less so when there's, 30 obvious on your heel, but otherwise, I get your point.
30 orcneas? Oh, my sensors have detected at least 60 outside. Perhaps you have encountered a small contingent.
When you say that you have the information stored on digital tape and you transfer that information, is it possible? Do you have fabrication equipment that we could transfer that information to make things?
I do not. I am a simple custodian. Do you partake? I am making some tea. I put a little touch of henbane in it. It helps with the clicking.
Yes,
The language of the Verdandi, they claim to speak to the birds. And you notice that he has a raven skull amulet around his neck. He says, I cannot say that I speak it as they do, but I do get a vague sense of its melody, like a throbbing inside my head.
Yes to the tea. And a question. You who have knowledge, presumably. How does one kill an orcneas so it stays dead?
Oh, very, very good question. The best way is to cleanse them with fire.
Oh, that flamethrower would be so good right about now.
Well, you see, you are in luck. I, of course, cannot take on 60 orcneas single-handed, but I do have some flamethrowers here, enough for one of each of you.
Ah!
And you can take them on and burn them to a crisp to prevent their cellular metamorphosis. You will have to take the flame casters and I will release the shield blasters one by one. The sons of Nithval are not immune to fire.
I accept this narratively convenient development.
Well, the time loop has enabled me to prepare many times over.
Okay. Flamethrowers all around.
Really?
Air kind of takes a sideways look at Leomi.
Yeah, Leomi steps back, arranging his bugs carefully towards the back of his back, and steps back from the rest of the group.
As he hands out the flamethrowers, Rauda says, "If you come back this way again, I will be glad to show you around. See, I always fancied this fort as some kind of gaunt ferryman. We call this place the Drift because it is one of the rare places where you can cross between one side of the river of existence and another."
Well, he's a corker.
Does that elevator go up?
Yes, Varangian, it is now to you to take anxious watch as night shadow deepens and deal with the orcneas.
Gigi is not a deep thinker, but he is a practical.
Just in case.
Where's the best place to ambush them?
So let me describe this area. So you've come down the shaft, you're inside this mountain vault. There is another shaft, because remember mine 7 is adjacent. You've come down and through. There is another shaft on the opposite side of the hill that leads into Sokverbeka, and according to the internal security cameras that are pointed at the blast doors that Rauda Serdon remarked upon, the orcneas are trying to breach the facility through that front gate. And you would surmise that since there's a whole group of these orcneas out front, that the paratroopers that you encountered were just one contingent of this invasion force.
We're going to have one lot coming up behind us, the way we came, because they followed us, but the rest of them are going to be at the front.
I do not think that is likely. If they found their way through Mine 7, they would be unable to find the hidden entrance.
That's good.
Okay, so one way in. How many are there? Multiple blast doors inside the other?
There are, and in actual fact, studying the footage from the monitors, you see that the blast doors have come down and in some cases severed an orcneas's head from its shoulders, leaving them writhing on the floor. Some of them appear to be trapped between 2 blast doors and unable to go anywhere. The Rune Master points out that they would normally asphyxiate because the air had been sucked out from that chamber, but because they're used to the vacuum and void as creatures of the Gununga Gap, they don't breathe and they haven't died, and they are just trapped, clawing at the blast doors. Exterior cameras that point out from Sokverbeka onto the tundra and have the same thermal vision as you detect that there are a whole heap of bodies. Some of them are Sons of Ivaldi, some of them are menfolk, some of them are mercenaries employed by the Noaton Institute, the Gap men that you have previously seen standing around with their dark glasses, the equivalent of this university's NASA. That front entrance has clearly been the scene of a massacre, a bloodbath, and only a few orcneas have penetrated into the interior where these blast doors are. So outside the main entrance is just the aftermath of a bloody and bitter battle.
Okay.
I have an idea.
Go on.
It will require, keeper of the knowledge, do you have petroleum, oil, something flammable, liquid, and lots of it?
Flamethrower fluid?
Yes, use the flame casters.
Well, those are nice, but I also want something that I can pour onto the ground, and then we just let them in, heap into our pit, and light it on fire, both from above and below.
Oh, I like that.
Naomi moves way back at that suggestion.
There's a semblance of a plan there, CJ, but again, think of it as a corridor, an electric corridor with kind of rails where they run carts and trolleys for the purposes of conveying things. Blast doors at either side, so there's no way to get above or below the tunnel. It's a modern constructed tunnel dug into the hillside with blast doors on either side that have trapped them. But certainly opening this blast door would enable you to do a version of your plan, which was presumably to stick loads of petrol in and then set fire to it.
Yes, and then
Would it be possible to open one of the doors, let a few through, close the door, cut them off, and sort of, do them a few at a time, sort of thing? Do we have that much control over the doors?
You do, if you want to effectively organize your own little barbecue.
Well, what we could try, maybe also we could sacrifice a couple of the flamethrowers. How many flamethrowers have we got?
5.
5. So, Mr. Treeman, he's not going to be using one.
Yeah.
So we could maybe sacrifice one of those, empty its fuel into the section of the corridor to be like a puddle, and then open that up and set it off. And I take it we can be behind the next blast door so we can see whether it's working or not. If it is, then we can go in and do a bit more hosing. Or if not, we've got 4 more. We only need 1 flamethrower to actually do the lighting of the puddles of flamethrower fuel.
And this is why he's called the Science Viking.
I will control the door to give you the maximum of impact.
Sounds good.
Yeah.
Raudersurden looks at you, staring intently. He holds his raven amulet skull for good luck, and he says, "May the gosh be with you." And then he presses the button. Immediately on the other side, several of the savage orcneas leap to their feet and snarl. They all reach for their guns that they had holstered, and one of them, again, you see a figure that you had once seen in a previous time loop, the Helm Ogre, the Helmskas, and it begins to ululate with the spirit of convicts and corpses, raising the devil corpses to ire and fury. They scream in unison as they lurch towards you.
I'm
Last turn or
guessing
so turn.
we've put the petrol on the floor.
I'd certainly hope so, otherwise he opens the door far too quick.
Flamecasters work in a very simple way, in that you fill the corridor with a flood of fire and immolate everyone all in one go. So you're going to give me 2d6 damage each, plus whatever you decide to add with your various spells and abilities.
Would it be possible to cast a bind rune? It says 1 creature within medium range, cast a bind rune on that big thing. So if it does try and move forward, it's going to take a hell of a lot of damage.
Yes, that would be in lieu of you blasting away with your flame.
Yeah.
Yes, indeed, you could use your bind runes to create a protective circle around the Helm Ogre and prevent it leaving that circle without taking extreme amounts of damage.
Well, I really want it to move. So we'll see what it does.
Okay. Billy Blom has quickly cast bind runes to entrap the Helm Ogre and its skull-like spacesuit, because that's effectively what it looks like, a skull in a spacesuit. And then everyone else can do what they want to with their fast turns.
Are there any orcneas coming in too?
All of them are moving as a rabid, fetid horde with their arms outstretched and their guns about to fire.
So if I have 1 flamethrower, I would like to step forward and then blast at them making sure to catch the floor.
Give me your rolls.
And Gigi will do the same.
Can I use quick hands to get?
You don't actually have to roll
Oh,
to hit.
fantastic.
You're just spewing fiery fury into the tunnel, and there is no way that you can miss.
So we're just rolling for damage.
So is it 2d6? Ooh. Can I use weapons expertise to get extra damage?
You can, and should you wish to, you can use one of the inspiration points to turn one of those dice rolls into a 6.
Good idea.
Go for it.
Yes.
We were just going to say that.
So, well, we have a 5 of 4 and another 5. That's 1 of 6. Bam.
The room erupts into fire. The flame casters are volatile and dangerous in their fuel, extremely combustible. The orcneas themselves, being sons of Nithil used to vacuum, take double damage.
Nice. Good.
And she does smile, kind of creepily happily, when they burn.
Savouring the sweet, succulent smell of roasting orcneas flesh.
So is there any need for Gigi to roll for damage, or did that take care of it?
Yeah, I think the whole point is to fill the room
Yes.
with flame and fury,
Okay,
Keep
so
going.
and presumably some kind of cutting insult. Remember, your mocking taunts have upgraded to cutting insults.
don't worry,
Yes.
it's coming. But I am going to invoke Orlog, and I'm going to do it at level 3.
Okay.
And so then I'm going to do, and then plus their haunts, so I get an extra 1. So let me roll for damage.
Toasty.
Oh, I rolled 2 6s. That was nice. 22 points total damage.
Ooh.
Is that doubled because they're all on fire?
It is.
While he's shooting, he's going to yell out, "Let Gigi's Inferno be the last fight you ever see!"
Good. And was there anything that you wanted to contribute to the maelstrom?
Yeah, the helm ogre. I understand we wanted it to move. Is that still true?
That would cause it to stumble across the bind runes and take 6d6 damage.
Exactly.
So I think then I will use Air will use Great Wrath in the with the aim to enrage it and make it unreasonably angry at one of its colleagues, and turn and chase after said colleague and hopefully leave the binding runes. So 15 plus 4 is 19 plus 2 is 21.
The creature howls in rage, echoing through its spectral helmet, the skull jaw shattering as it tries to leave the bind runes. Terry, give me your 6d6.
66. Oh my god. Well, that was rubbish. Grand total of 10.
Oh my god.
Still,
Look at that.
still adds to the cacophony of carnage and chaos. The creature rushes towards you, explodes through the bind runes, and is further immolated in your runic magic. It collapses, its well-worn gap suit melts into a heap and a puddle, and whatever cage spirit was within vanishes into the tunnels beyond. The rest of the Orcneas roast in your flames and roast in CJ's cutting insults. Behind you, Rauda Serdan clasps you on the back and begins to clap with enthusiasm and says, "Well done, my friends. Such aplomb, such magnificence. I have not seen anything of its like for many a year."
Leomi leans close to the rune master and asks, "Can I see your raven pendant?"
"Yes, you may. Isn't it pretty?" It's a raven skull.
Mm-hmm. Is there anything about it, like tree site? Am I noticing anything? I just suddenly got suspicious of the symbology.
Nope. Nothing out of the ordinary.
Maybe there was something extra about it, something otherworldly. He talked about a point where you can move between streams and stuff like that. So I thought, anyway, it turns out new.
When the last orcneas falls, the time loop around you closes, and you are now free to act once again. However, as the normal course of time resumes, events around you unfold surprisingly quickly, and before you know it, the Firefox Institute and their cleanup crew are bustling around you, having turned up to remove the bodies from the drift and repair any damage. And within the hour, Bangsi Avalderson stands in front of you, taking charge, barking orders at his underlings, and berating both Serden and Villeblom for their role in proceedings. Villeblom! You've exposed the entire facility! What were you thinking, man?
Well, the fact that there's still a facility to be exposed is rather a point in our favour, don't you think?
Don't I think? What do you think, man?
Well, I think definitely. I think you should not be shouting at us, you shouldn't be berating us, you should be congratulating us for saving the facility.
You, sir, are so dense that light bends around you.
A neutron star of a man.
So you wanted the place to burn then?
Good gods. I have said on many occasions that all of the citizens of Halpmakar bring me happiness, some when they come into my office, and some when they leave. Villeblom, you will be best served at the weather station.
Well, that's gratitude for you.
One of the other figures that you recognize amongst the cleanup crew is the young son of Ivaldi, Blaine Avalderson, who you met previously. He comes over to you and says, "We cannot thank you enough, sirs. May I inquire as to your health? Is there any need of a spruce up, shall we say? No gags intended, Álfar, or you, grandfather?
Yes.
Jarl, sir, would you care for some more garments, sir?
And a bath.
That can be arranged, sir. Of course, it would be the pleasure of the Sons of Ivaldi, sir, to help you in your ablutions, sir.
And a loofah.
Oh, yes, of course, sir. If I might say, sir, best keep this all hush-hush, I think, sir? We don't want to panic the good people of Halpmakar, do we, sir? It goes without saying, we do know where you live, sir.
You want me to keep a secret?
Well, if it will help, sir, the Sons of Ivaldi the Winterwise will contribute, let's say, 10 Imperial crowns to a charitable cause of your choosing, sir.
One of my companions is literally made of diamonds. 10 kroner isn't going to keep my mouth shut, sir.
If it comes to bargaining, sir, I think the Winterwise have rather the advantage on you, sir. There are, after all, just 4 of you. I'm sure it won't take much persuading to have Villeblom come across to the cause. So if you cannot keep your mouth shut, sir, then we may have to sew it shut a little bit like Loki himself.
I'll take the 10.
Very wise.
Very good
Very
choice.
wise. And if I may escort you all back to town, we will take you all on the Skeeterberg. You might notice a few burnt corpses along the way. We'll just put it down to baboon fever and not mention the orcneas to anyone. And of course, Sock Verbecker. Never heard of it, have you, sir?
Socks for who?
Exactly, sir. Everyone should get socks for Yule, in my experience. The cleanup crew escort you back to Halpmakar. You are able to have your bath. You are able to rest. Anina, do you want to just curl up by the fire in the Rauda suite?
That was exactly what I had in mind.
The drive back to town, I chat up this cheerful fellow. Lyomi does, looking to understand how I might join them in their efforts as the Winter Wise to help reverse the effect of this terrible scar in the sky.
Oh, no, sir. No, sir. It's very kind of you, sir, but we don't need the help of the Álfar, sir. We are transcending a little beyond the confines of Yggdrasil, sir, and your arboreal sentience isn't, how shall we say, in keeping with the Church of the 10, sir.
I stare into his eyes, looking deeply into his soul, and say, "Cling tight to the banner, my dear."
Yes, sir. It's exactly the reason why we don't want the Álfar and their slightly schizophrenic personalities, sir. You clearly have a touch of the woodworm, sir.
The old tree groans.
You find yourselves back in the warmth and safety of Hatmakar. Clearly it is dark outside, but the time loop has ended and the normal continuance of time is reassuring and restful. However, one last coda to this particular adventure is this. Leomi, while you don't have pockets, you do have nooks and crannies. And as you sit down to once again counsel poor Air and alleviate his mental burden, you find one of your nooks and you find in one of your little holes.
Squirrel hole.
Squirrel hole. Exactly. Ratatoska has stowed his nuts inside you. You find a small box that wasn't there before with a crumpled note.
Well, I'll open the box and read the note.
Can I look?
The note is in true Norse, so a runic series of sigils that you can't necessarily understand. But also inside the box is the Raven Skull talisman that
Okay.
Rauda has clearly, secretly stowed. On the back of the note, in addition to the runes, there are a series of coordinates. 78 degrees north, 20 degrees east. There's no explanation given. And then the true Norse will require translation.
Yes, I was thinking
here.
I would take the runes to Gigi for his humble translation.
Does Air have the ability? Because Gigi's probably in there with the
Yes.
strong-wristed handmaiden.
No. Air is standing quietly in the corner of a worn room.
I think, worryingly, since the quarantine is still on, the strong-wristed handmaiden turns out to be one of this lot.
Well, I can also read True Norse, and I have a very good understanding of it.
Then it says this. The note that accompanies the Raven Skull translates as a trip down memory lane. And then again, as I said, on the back are these coordinates.
I think I know where we're going next.
I know where you're going next. Go there and stay there.
Tell Air that I'm really not interested in his opinions, and the Yggdrasil shivers, the old tree groans, he goes very glassy-eyed, and the giant slips free.
CJ, I think you ought to invite everyone into the bath to celebrate.
There's not enough room. Everybody's making fun of him for being in his bath. So you just hear him behind a door, and he says, "You mock me now, but when you smell like decayed goat corpse and I radiate the musk of an immaculate god, then who shall Odin favor?"
The Vikings and Valkyries podcast is hammered together by a dedicated team of Skalds and Smiths. Please don't forget to like, share, and sacrifice to the old gods.